What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. We're going to start a new segment on Triple P called the Triple M Reviews, my Monday movie reviews. Today, I'm going to do the Fast and Furious 10 review. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to play the official trailer of the movie, and then I've already watched the movie, and I'll give you my honest opinion. So let's go and let's pull up this official trailer real quick and let's get into it.
I know that this road has been very hard. And yet here you are, building this magnificent family.
What's going on in that head of yours?
Something little P said it. He said, Dad, you're not afraid of anything. But I am. I'm afraid of losing someone I love.
Dominic Toretto, you're about to learn all about fear. Boom! You built such a beautiful life, filled with love and family. I never got that chance. You stole that from me. My future. My family. And now, I'm gonna break yours. Piece by piece.
Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride.
He's coming for you with everything.
What's the plan, Dom?
I'm not sure anymore.
One of us might not come back from this. But we have to fight.
Never accept death when suffering is owed.
Let's ride.
Armed and dangerous. Ain't too many can bang with us. Label us notorious.
It's a setup.
He's trying to tear us apart.
Our situation is type 1. What you gonna do? Fight or run?
Winning used to be about winning. We raced for respect. Today, I raced to stop the bloodbath.
That's the problem with having such a big family. How do you choose the ones you save?
Let's race. Ain't too many can bang with us. Label us notorious, notorious, notorious.
You still know how to drive? What do you think? It's showtime. Here we go!
Game recognizes game.
I'm coming for you, son.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Here they come.
You will never be able to break my family.
Good morning, sunshine.
You gotta be kidding me.
All right. I will say this: Fast and Furious does not lack for action. And now that I got that out the way, one word comes to mind when I think of the Fast and Furious. This movie and probably the last few movies they've dropped, corny. Corny. That's the word that comes to mind. Also, what comes to mind is if whoever wrote the dialogue on this movie if they're on strike right now, while the writers are on strike, they need to stay on strike because the dialogue was terrible. Like the best dialogue was Jason Momoa's character, but it was cringe to watch it, man. Like with the nails painted and you know just playing the gay gangster role and whatnot. It was just cringe to watch. I don't get why Hollywood always feels the need to um I don't know if I want to say force or make the straight actors play these roles when they know they got plenty gay people to play these roles. And I've heard rumors that if you don't play these roles that they won't let you in the club. You won't, they'll pretty much try to blackball you out of Hollywood and not give you these big time movies. So this movie in this series is corny in so many ways. And even though it does spin off of my favorite Fast and Furious, the Brazil one, I think after that one, that's when it just starts. They start trying to level up of they have these people, have them plan these things out that they have no experience of doing. They've never attempted these things ever in their life, and they plan them to perfection, and they just happen to just accomplish all these things for the first time. That's another thing that's like, all right, it's getting corny. Now we're in outer space. Another thing that's corny to me is the family aspect. They're all a bunch of career criminals, and they all care about family more. Yeah, right. They care about money more if they're career criminals. That's corny. Um, then the fact that all the women can beat up is same amount of people as The Rock or Vin Diesel or Jason Statham at the same time. And they've never it's crazy. Like they literally had no fighting scenes in the first part of the Fast and Furious series, and as soon as they start fighting, they can beat up six guys 6'6" and above, 250 pounds, like that. It's got so corny. It's gotten to the point where none of this shit is realistic. They go from being hijackers, truck hijackers, to flying in fucking space. And then you got one of most the most, I don't want to say unaccomplished, but the least qualified character is the one flying in space and doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. Tyrese's character. At least Ludacris's character is a computer nerd and genius and can hack. But even him, he starts doing things that, computer nerds like me shouldn't be doing, like beating up 4 or 5 people at one time. You know, it just got so corny. Then it really, like, this movie really got corny for me when there was a scene. I gotta throw it out there. Not to spoil the movie or nothing, but there's a scene where the little 9 to 10-year-old kid, however old he is in this movie, jumps from one car to another. And I swear I thought it was Michael Jordan or Vince Carter or Dennis Smith Jr. or something jumping out that car, because the hops was like, what the? Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? And then, how is it that they're just a family? They're just a regular old family, but everybody can just kick everybody's ass. And then they won't kick no ass. Most of them, like, that's the thing. Like, the sister, Vin Diesel's sister, probably didn't even start fighting until 5. I mean, I think the Brazil one when Rock came in, I don't know if that's 4 or 5, but Vin Diesel sister, like, never was fighting in none of the first ones, and then all of a sudden she's badass and can beat up all these guys. Yeah, her role was so corny. And we already knew Vin Diesel's girlfriend was somewhat of a badass, but even her, she's like beating up too many people that she beating up. They shouldn't be beating up the same amount of people as The Rock and people as big as The Rock. It's like, what are we doing here? Yeah, this movie is major corny, super duper corny, and I was actually going to react to a local independent film first, but I thought that might be really, really biased. And just to show that I want to be honest and non biased with my reviews. I mean, Fast and Furious has made a ton of money. It's been successful, but half of it has been a successful cornball of a movie series. And then like John Cena's role. Like, yeah, the last one was corny with John Cena. It got super corny, especially towards the end. But John Cena goes from this badass that wants to destroy his brother to a straight cornball in this one. He's like the regular cornball John Cena character you see in every other movie. Yeah, man. And they bring in Brie Lawson or whatever her name is, Larson, and she's just beating up all these guys at once because, oh, she's Mr. Nobody's daughter. But Mr. Nobody couldn't beat her. It's funny to me that Mr. Nobody, her dad couldn't do what she did. It's like so corny, man. So corny. The best lines were actually from Jason Momoa's character, but it's just cringe to watch his character, man. It's just like, what are we doing here? But he's gonna get all the roles he wants in Hollywood now because he played the gay role. Once you play the gay role, you pretty much get any role you want. That's why I have all the respect in the world for Denzel Washington because he didn't conform to that role. Even though they did say this is rumor though, they did say he really took a bullet to the ass in Training Day, because the rumor is Martin also when in that movie where he took the Bad Boys, he got shot in the ass. They said that was a bullet to the ass for real, and he also played the gay role because he dressed up like Big Mama, you know, like cross dressing and the transgender um, roles are considered LGBTQ community roles. So, yeah, I don't get why they just don't get gay people to play these roles. And because I've always heard for years that Hollywood, basically, if you don't play these roles, the straight actors, they will pretty much try to shun you out of roles later and blackball you out of Hollywood. But yeah, I think there's one more coming on this. I don't see why. I don't see why. It's just money and greed at this point because the product is corny as hell. If you like, I mean, like I said, if you like action, yeah, you're gonna get that action. But I don't want to watch a action packed movie that's super corny, man. Super duper corny, and it was so cringe that once the kid jumped out of the car like Dennis Smith Jr. Shout out to Dennis Smith Jr. from Fayetteville, North Carolina, my hometown. Once he jumped like Dennis Smith Jr., Vince Carter, or Michael Jordan, or whoever out the damn car, I was just like, oh, I can't watch this no more, man. And then I kind of went back and watched the last bit because my homie's like, you didn't see the end after we were talking about it. I was like, I had to cut it off after I seen this kid jump out of a car like Michael Jeffrey fucking Jordan. Yeah, man. Fast and Furious is corny, man. It's just got super corny. They could have stopped at 5. They could have stopped at 5 with the Rock joint, where Rock basically gives them, they save Rock's life. Rock teams up with him. And what's crazy too is Rock is the one that killed Jason Momoa's character's father at the end of that movie. He shot him and killed him. So he should have took all it out on the Rock. That's another thing corny about it. Vin Diesel just left him there, like still alive but in pain. We don't know if he was necessarily going to die. And the Rock put 2 into him for killing his team. And then at the end, then the Rock just let him get a head start. I'm gonna let you get a head start. I'm gonna come after you, but I'm gonna give you a head start. We could have ended it right there, but they just want to keep going. want to try to one up on John Wick, I guess. At least John Wick, we know John Wick is a comic book. They've taken a movie that's supposed to be like real life and just made it so fairy tale, so imaginary, make believe bullshit. You know, parachuting cars out of the planes and all types of shit. I think that's when it really started to get ridiculous. Is the one where they went overseas when Owen Shaw, when they went after Owen Shaw. I think that's when it started getting really ridiculous. They just started doing things that was just like, all right, this shit's way out of their league. Way out of the league. And another thing that's corny is that they kill off all the characters and then they just magically reappear throughout the series. And that's another thing I thought was corny is they brought old girl back. I can't think of her name. But it's the Asian dude's girlfriend in the movie. Brought her back, and apparently she was with Cypher the whole time, which is I don't know. It just it got super corny, man. It just got super corny. I get it. It's movies, Paul. It's just a movie. It's make believe. But like we can't go from hijacking trucks to flying in fucking space like that. Like and they just and never attempted this shit and we never fell. It's 100% success rate on attempting new things, man. It's so bogus, according. Yeah, I want to thank you for tuning in to this new segment, the Triple M reviews, Paul Picker podcast, my Monday movie reviews. I was actually going to start with an independent film, local independent film, which I'll review next week. I thought that might really make me seem biased if I go ahead and start off with the independent film. And to prove that I'm not going to be biased and I'm going to give my honest opinion, I figured I'll start with the mainstream one. And plus, it probably only makes sense to start with a mainstream one. And then next week, I'm going to do a review for a local independent movie directed by a good friend of mine. I guess, and that's another reason why people would probably think it was biased of me to do that movie first, because he's a good friend of mine, Barry Williams, written and directed by Barry Williams. It's called Spin Off the Block, local independent film. And that's going to be number 2 on the Triple M reviews, Paul Pickett podcast, my Monday movie reviews. So once again, I'll thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett podcast. I do not recommend you watch Fast and Furious 10. It is corny as hell. I don't recommend you waste any time unless you just there's no other movies out there for you to watch right now and you just like action movies so much. It is I will say they never lack for action. They go above and beyond on the action, but they go below on the dialogue and some of the script. It's just corny. It's fast and corny is what it is. Once again, thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.